This is William K. Murtaugh, Witness 1, and today I'm going to discuss wolves and how a freak operating a freak show of a blog is throwing a lot of people to the proverbial wolves. Now, on November 15th, a man was murdered. The murderer was mad at him because he didn't fulfill the promises that he made, got angry, and shot him. Routine murders like this happen all the time. But along comes this freak who writes on this blog that decided he's going to put a monkey wrench into the investigation. Now, there was a witness to this murder. A woman and her daughter were in the house, and they made a statement to the police as to what they claimed happened. They went into explicit details, and they stated that they themselves were almost shot, that if it had not been for the gun jamming, they would be the ones that might also be dead or seriously injured. Now, the freak has come out on his freak show of a blog and has written 3 very interesting articles. Articles, if law enforcement took them serious enough, would wind up shifting their focus from the woman that did the shooting, allegedly, and look at new people of interest. And one of the persons of interest would be the witness. Now, if you were to read this freak show of a blog, you would understand why. The blog states that the woman refused to hand over her cell phone to the authorities. This indicates a lack of cooperation with law enforcement that would automatically gain negative attention to her by law enforcement. The next point that the freak made was that the witness was not tested for gun residue. She was not tested to see if she had in fact fired the weapon. Now, this has 2 insinuations here. It's insinuating, number 1, that the woman may not have cooperated with law enforcement and refused to have this test done, or, as more than likely, since she was a witness to the murder, law enforcement may not have felt it necessary to test her for gun residue. But in the minds of people that follow this freak show of this conspiracy blog, they might be given the impression that the woman might, in fact, either be part of the murder or may, in fact, be the actual murderer. Because the freak has also, in his blog, implied that the accused murderer is completely innocent, that she, did not commit the murder, that she was framed. Rather hard narrative to come up with, but considering the audience of this freak, it's an easy narrative to come up with because these people believe practically everything this idiot writes. But let's move on. The freak has come up in the 3 articles he's written various reasons why the murder was not a murder, and that it was, in fact, a political assassination. That this fraud, who owned E-Clause LLC, was, in fact, some kind of defense contractor out to reveal this big deep state plot involving the president-elect attempting to do various crimes and being attached to various crimes. The latest article that this idiot came up with states that the president-elect is wearing a ankle monitor, a GPS monitor, because he had the bad luck of injuring himself while playing with his very large German Shepherd, fractured his foot, and is wearing a foot boot. I've personally worn one of these things, so I know the reason he's wearing it, because I had the same thing happen to me. I sprained my foot. But these conspiracy freaks want you to think that Joe Biden is wearing one of these things because it contains a GPS monitor. And I guess these freaks have never seen a GPS monitor and understand that you don't have to have a ski boot-like device that would contain one of these things. And it's an ankle bracelet can be as small as an Apple Watch or any other kind of smartwatch for that matter. But that's how ignorant these people are of technology. They're a bunch of uneducated freaks. Well, let's get back to the matter at hand. Now, what this conspiracy freak may or may not realize is that law enforcement is monitoring his blog as well as the other social media accounts that he participates in. And the very reason is because law enforcement knew early on that they were dealing with QAnons and people that believe in the freakish QAnon theories. And thus, they are going to be looking at every word this person writes. And if he keeps coming out with evidence that they need to look at to maybe include the witness as a suspect or other people as suspects, he is going to provide the fodder for them to do it. He is going to provide them with enough evidence to go into a courtroom and ask the judge for search warrants, not only of social media accounts to identify who operates these accounts, but to get into people's cell phones, to remotely check these people's phone records, text messages, and so forth. Because the freak that writes this blog doesn't understand that law enforcement doesn't necessarily have to have the phone in their possession. They only need to go to the carrier that provides the service to the phone to subpoena certain information that can be found on the phone itself, that can be extracted from the phone while it's still in the possession of the owner, whether the phone is turned on or not. So there's that. And then the freak does something else. With one of these weird conspiracy theories that he's come up with, now he is accusing people, once again, of being involved in some pretty serious crimes. And he's created a list. And he's put me and a whole bunch of people on that list, including people that risked their freedom to help him out. People that actually committed crimes on his behalf. Now, what are these crimes? Basically, aiding and abetting a fugitive from justice. The operator of this freak blog is himself a wanted criminal. He has a warrant out for his arrest for failure to appear in court. And there are people that used to be his friends that not only helped him clear out, but hid information from the authorities that would have led to his arrest. And how does he repay his friends for this favor? He puts them on a list, a rogues gallery, of those that he considers guilty of some of the most vile crimes that one can think of. Crimes against children. Part of this vast plot to assassinate this auto parts clerk from Ocala, Florida, and to aid in the attempted assassination of a unemployed pizza delivery driver. Now, why is this conspiracy freak doing this? Well, one of the reasons is the conspiracy freak is trying to sabotage my YouTube channel. He's getting terrified at the increasing number of people who not only listen to my blog, watch my videos, but also participate in the chat on my live streams, plus comments on the videos that I produce, such as this one. This freak and those who control him are trying to get my YouTube channel removed from the internet because they're terrified of the fact that me and other people out there with the various YouTube, Facebook, and other social media accounts are getting the truth out about the actions of these people. They stand to lose a lot of money. They make money off of what they produce out there, no matter how stupid it is, because people will believe anything. So they are trying desperately in any way, shape, or form to get me off the air. And if you want to know why this freak that runs this freak show of a blog and the BitChute channel and so on and so forth, just tune in. Subscribe to my channel. Like the content. Share it. Let other people know why this freak is so terrified of this YouTube channel. And stay tuned, because within the next few days, weeks, and months, the murder investigation is going to evolve into a grand jury indictment, preliminary hearings, the release of discovery, the release of police reports, body camera footage, all sorts of things. Even eventually, an autopsy. And as the evidence mounts and gets to be made public, all of this will be on my YouTube channel, if it survives the censorship onslaught being waged by this group of freaks. And we will see the truth eventually of what happened and what has been happening. And a jury is going to render a verdict, or a plea deal is going to be made, and the truth will be out there for all to judge. And so until that time, like, subscribe, share. Be sure to click the notification link, and enjoy the rest of the week in the holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and this is William K. Murtaugh, Mert Witness 1. Have a good one.